Hello, Patrick Molloy, anxiety specialist here again. Today I'd like to talk about something that often comes up during a course of therapy with a client, and it's about the past. And many people, or some people at least, have the notion that in order to get better, in order to recover from their anxiety and lead a relatively normal life, which of course will include some anxiety because that's part of normal life, they need to go into their past in some detail to examine what's happened and to sort of work it all out. And that somehow is going to rectify things. And it's a bit of a red flag for me really when sometimes somebody will contact me and they'll say that's what they want to do. Look, what I'd like you to do is to help me go through my past and to really find out what it is, what's making me do that, what's making me have these symptoms. Or sometimes if they've got a bad habit as well, they might say the same. So there are problems with this, because if you think about it, for all of us, some more than others, but for all of us, we've had uncomfortable situations in our past. And if we spend enough time looking, we'll certainly find some. And in fact, the more time we spend looking, the more we'll find. And while we're looking there, we're looking for painful experiences, we're looking for uncomfortable experiences, how are we going to feel? We're going to feel absolutely awful. So that's one problem with it. It can be long and it can be painful. And the other problem with it is, and this might almost be a little bit attractive. I can understand why this might be attractive or have an attraction to it. The other thing is it's laying the blame outside of oneself. So this happened to me because I got bullied in the dinner hall, and ever since I've been overeating, for example, because they were stealing my food. Something like that. That's very disempowering, although because it kind of lays the blame outside of the person, as I say, there might be a certain attraction to it. So I would suggest that there can be some value to looking into the past. My particular approach to it is very, very quick and very, very targeted. And in fact, I would only do it if it comes up in the therapy. Typically, my therapy only lasts a few hours. And if it comes up in the therapy, then it's obviously something that needs to be dealt with. Because the way I work with clients, it's very client-led. And it's quite an unusual process. It seems like we're having a normal conversation, but there are other things going on that will bring up what needs to be brought up, and it does so very quickly. So I honestly wouldn't recommend spending too long going into the past. There is the attraction of letting go of any blame. Well, who is to blame? I always say, well, life's to blame. Everybody's doing the best they can at the time with what they know at the time, and you know, sometimes people might do or say something that wasn't even ill-intentioned, and somebody might take it to mean something really significant. That's just how we function as human beings. There's can be a certain vulnerability to us. So it isn't necessarily something I'd recommend. It does absolve blame if anybody were inclined to apportion blame, but it can be very long and it can be very painful. So just as a quick example, I was talking to a colleague of mine, and he treats people with anxiety. He's an anxiety specialist, much like myself. And he was telling me that when he was a teenager, he had a bit of an issue with anxiety. I think he was about 17, and he embarked on therapy, weekly therapy. And this therapy actually took 3 years. And after around about 3 years, something came up, and he said, it's to do with this. And the therapist said, oh, well done, and nodded very sagely. And he said to the therapist, what do you mean? And the therapist said, I knew this from the very first session, and I was waiting for you to realise it for yourself. Now, that might sound all very profound, however, he was still anxious. So that would suggest to me that the process was not really very fruitful. Anyway, that's all for now. My name is Patrick Molloy. If you'd like to speak to me, discuss anything that I've brought up on these lives, please reach out. If you're interested to see if I might be able to help you, also please reach out and I'll be very happy to have a chat with you. Anyway, bye for now.